Welcome to the Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show, where we make plant-based cooking easy. I'm Jill, and today we are making sesame tofu with broccoli.
Grab a plate, 'cause it's the all-free whole food plant-based cooking show.
Today's show is brought to you in part by Wellbean. Beans are an essential part of a whole food plant-based diet and should feature prominently in our daily menu. We love finding new and convenient ways to get our servings in. Wellbean is a tasty and wholesome way to get half a serving of beans in every bar. Wellbean bars are vegan and gluten-free, with no preservatives and no added salt, sugar, or oil. Each bar is made only from an assortment of beans, fruits, nuts, and seeds. As a special deal for our viewers, follow the link in the description and use the code TRYWELLBEAN5 to save $5 off a variety pack on your first order, because life is better with beans.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Today we are going to make sesame tofu with broccoli. It is so delicious. This happens to be the winning vote from our membership community. They got to vote last month on what I would work on next, and this was the winning vote, so I finally figured it out. All right, so we're going to jump right in. I've already got my oven preheated to 400 degrees. So we're going to make our sauce first, because we're going to coat the tofu in a little bit of the sauce to bake first, and then the rest of the sauce goes on at the end. So we've got 2 teaspoons of a dark miso paste. And we have a tablespoon of chopped ginger, already peeled. We have 1/4 of a cup of toasted sesame seeds. And sometimes you can find them already toasted at the grocery store, but if not, I just put some regular sesame seeds in a dry pan and just dry roasted them, and you can tell when it just starts turning just slightly brown and you can smell them cooking that they're done. So it's really, really simple. We have 1/2 cup of pitted douglet dates. We have 4 tablespoons of rice vinegar. 4 tablespoons of lemon juice, and 1 tablespoon of a low sodium tamari sauce. Okay, we're just going to blend these together until those dates are completely pulverized. Okay, that looks good enough. Get all of that out of there. We don't want to miss any of that delicious sauce. Okay, and now we pour in 1.5 cups of water. And we could have put that in there to blend first, but I just find that it's easier to get the dates completely pulverized if you blend them first with just a smaller amount of liquid. So then we can blend that up, so we'll get all of that off of the rim there and all of that extra stuff off the blade. We'll just blend it again a little bit. We just don't want to miss any of that delicious sauce. Don't want to waste any of it. There we go. Just took a couple seconds. Okay. So now I've got some tofu here. This is an extra firm, and this is a high protein type of tofu, so it's really firm, but you can use just the regular extra firm if you can't find the high protein kind. This is just my personal preference. I like it to be a little bit extra firm. So I'm going to throw those in my bowl here. And we're just going to pour a little bit of the sauce, maybe about 1/2 cup. We just want the sauce really just to coat the tofu. I'll toss it a little bit here with my spoon. And this is just to give the tofu a little extra flavor. And if you wanted to do a little extra to get all of that flavor soaked in the tofu really well, you could do like this and put it in a container and put it in the refrigerator overnight and then cook it the next day. Then it would get the flavor into that tofu a little bit better. It's always a little difficult to get flavor into tofu because it's already pressed and there's not a lot of places for that juice to go into. So I've just got a baking sheet here with a piece of parchment paper on it. I'm just going to put the tofu on there. Spread them out so they're not touching, so that it can bake all of the sides pretty evenly. Just like that. And we're just going to keep that remaining sauce. I'm going to pour it back into the bowl, into the container with the rest of it, because we just don't want to waste it. And if it has a little bit of chunks of tofu, it's okay. It's all going in there in the end anyway. All right, so now we're going to get this into the oven at 400 degrees for 25 minutes.
Today's show is brought to you in part by Complement. As healthy as it is, did you know there are a handful of missing or hard to get nutrients from a plant-based diet? The latest research suggests that complementing your diet with a few specific vitamins, minerals, and omega-3s will help boost your energy and keep you thriving for the long term. That's why I take Complement Plus every day. Complement Plus contains the 8 critical nutrients in dosages optimized specifically for plant-based eaters. Plus, they're completely transparent about ingredient sourcing and third-party testing, publishing the results directly on their website. As a special discount for our viewers, just use the code WFPB15 at checkout to save 15% off of your order.
Okay, so our tofu is still in the oven and it has about 5 minutes left to go. So while that's doing that, we're going to steam our broccoli. So I've already got my heat on here, and this is a cup of water. And this is about 5 cups of broccoli, roughly 2 heads of broccoli. And I just, chunk them up into big bite-sized pieces. Okay, so we're just going to steam that for about 5 minutes, because it's once that's done at 5 minutes, we're going to toss everything together and cook it a little bit more. So you don't want to overcook your broccoli, because once you get the other ingredients in there and stir in that sauce, the broccoli could just turn to mush. So 5 minutes. Here we are. Our broccoli is ready. Woo! Look at that steam. All right. So I already poured off any of the remaining liquid that's in here. You don't want that liquid to be in there anymore. Okay, looks just right. Our tofu is done. So all we have to do, I love using the parchment because it's so easy just to do this and to pour it right in the pan. There you go, and you're done with that. All right, let's set this over here. All right, so we've got our sauce here, and then I love to put a little bit of red pepper flakes on here. So probably, this really is your preference. If you like it really spicy, go ahead and put more. I probably put about a total of ½ teaspoon on there. And you could always put a little bit of like a sriracha sauce or something like that, just to give it a little bit more of that spicy, punchy flavor. Okay, here's our sauce, and we're gonna pour it all in there. Oh my gosh. All the smells, that toasted sesame seeds. So the toasted sesame seeds ground up is supposed to be in the place of using sesame oil, because you don't need that oil in there. You can get the flavor from the sesame seed itself, and you're eating the whole sesame seed. And even if you wanted, you could reserve a little bit of the sesame seeds to sprinkle on the top just for a little extra pizzazz, right? All right, so we're just gonna cook this down a little bit just to thicken up that sauce just slightly, and then I'll meet you at the table for a taste. While we're waiting for that, I'd like to share with you some background on our show. The Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show is crowd-funded, which means these free weekly recipe videos, along with our entire catalog of recipes on our website, plantbasedcookingshow.com, and our new Plant-Based Cooking Made Easy cookbook are all made possible in part by the generous patronage of our supporting members. By becoming a supporting member, you gain access to great member perks like monthly product giveaways, free downloads of our ebooks, and access to our in-depth courses, including our 28 Days Plant-Based Made Easy course, where we offer a step-by-step guide to making the switch to a fully plant-based diet. We create this show for the hundreds of thousands of viewers just like you who tune in each month from all over the world to make it easy for everyone to live a plant-based lifestyle. So if you love our content, please join us on our mission and become a supporting member today by following the link in the description. Okay, let's get back to the show. All right, guys, time for a taste. And just a tip on the sauce, if you want it to be just a little bit thicker, you can mix together a tablespoon of arrowroot powder or cornstarch with just a little bit of water and pour it into the sauce while it's still cooking until it's the consistency that you want. Oops. And we serve it over rice, so I made just a little bit of rice here. All right, oh, this just smells so good. I cannot wait to dig into this. But it is extremely hot. So here we go. Mmm. Mmm. Oh, the broccoli. It's perfect. Mmm. And the sauce, it's kind of tangy, just a hint of sweetness, and then you get that rich flavor of the sesame. Mmm. And the tofu. Mmm. I love tofu. You guys are gonna love this. So be sure to give this a like, guys, and I'll see you next week for another great recipe.